Hello and welcome to Mondays live here in True Alignment Academy and 3 p.m. Central every Monday. And I'm so happy that this is the first week of a series that I'm doing, and we're going to be talking about burnout. Burnout is a pretty hot topic, and burnout, everyone talks about burnout, right? It's really been common since COVID, especially for those of you who are frontline workers, which I know a lot of you in this group are, caretakers, healers. And what we keep hearing is burnout prevention, right? But really what I want to talk to you about in this series is the actual origin of burnout, the actual origin, right? Where does burnout really come from? Because we can change all the external factors, but the origin of the cause of the burnout starts inside of us. I'm trying to pull up your comments here, guys. Let's see. There we go. I gotcha. Hi, Kim. Hi, Gianna. Hi, Deanne. Thank you for joining me live. Guys, I'm Natalie with True Alignment Academy that is run out of Houston, Texas. And hi, Vicki. And if you are here with me for the first time, introduce yourself, tell me where you're from. And for those who have been following me, hello, and thank you for coming back. Hashtag live for those of you who are here live, and for those who are coming back for the replay, hashtag replay. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Jillian. Hi, Tracy. Thank you guys so much for joining me live today. It's a hot topic about burnout, and I'm super excited to tell you where the origin is, because I have been a nurse for 15 years, and most of that was, the majority was in critical care. And hi, Deborah. Hi, Jill. Awesome. Thank you for joining me today. So 15 years I have been a nurse, and the majority of that has been in critical care, emergency, a lot of it, any trauma I could get my hands on, whether that was in an emergency setting, emergency room setting, or ICU. And 6 years of those, at least 6 years of those 15, I suffered from burnout. And I did all the things, right? Like I took a vacation, although most of you can understand when you go on vacation and you really don't even know what to do with yourself, right? And we'll get into that a little more in a little bit. But I went on vacation, although I was miserable on vacation. I went on vacation, I cut back my hours. I tried to go get a pedicure, right? I switched specialties. I had like the itch really it was like every 2 years, and every 2.5 to 3 years, I would change my specialty. I switched hospitals. I moved across the country to do travel nursing up in Connecticut and Rhode Island to try to move away from the burnout. I tried to go into management at some point. I became a charge nurse. I did all the things. I even started a floral and wedding planning business so that I could have something different to put my focus on and take the stress away from the hospital environment. And all it did was create more burnout. Why? Hi, Barbie. Welcome. Denisha, hello. Thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time with me, let me know where you're from. I'm so excited that you're here. And guys, if you have questions throughout this, please just drop them in the chat and I will answer them for you. If not, if I don't see it on the call, I will come back and make sure I get those questions answered. So I was just talking about, this is all about burnout. This is a part 1 of a 3-part series. Today, we're going to talk about the busyness, right? It does. You're right, Barbie. Exactly. It follows you. Where you go, there you are. First time someone told me that, it was like a light bulb like went off in my head. What was I running away from? Where does the burnout really start? It starts inside of us. It's an internal problem. So we're changing all these things on the outside when the problem is internal. Now, if you go to a healthcare worker or someone, a frontline worker, many of you are in nursing, or you're a PCA, or you could be a cop or a firefighter or a paramedic, whatever field that you're in, you take care of other people, right? So most of the time you go to them and you ask them, you're burnout, like what's going on? Well, we're short staffed. I have a horrible manager. My patients are horrible. All of them are miserable. Or who's worked COVID? Who's been in the hospital system during COVID? I will tell you, I worked 2 years in COVID in the critical care unit. And I think I went on a good, at least 2 month stretch where none of my patients survived. Not one of them, right? Every single time I went to work, I put all of me. I gave all of me. I did everything I could for those patients, and not one of them survived. Burnout. So when asked, right, like I lost all my patients, right? The frontline workers, that first responders, how many times can you see a child lifeless? How many times can you come up on the scene of a car accident and see people strewn everywhere? These are external factors. Do they cause the burnout? I will tell you that answer is no. Do they speed up the burnout process? Definitely. Definitely. Your external factors are, when you are put in that situation, it will speed up the burnout process. But the actual cause of the burnout, guys, that's inside of us. That is inside of us. And that's what we're going to be talking about these next 3 weeks. Today, we're going to talk about, and over these next 3 weeks, I'm going to give you the solution to burnout. I don't think anyone's ever given me a solution. They've given me suggestions, in which I've taken every single one of them. I've gone searching for them. Like burnout was in my search bar for like 10 years. Solutions to burnout, right? But I'm going to actually give you a solution, and not a solution that will help today, a solution for the rest of your life. So today we're going to be talking about wearing exhaustion as a badge of honor. We're like, yes, I'm so burnout. And yet we continue to pick up shifts. We continue to fill every single slot in our schedule. We continue to pack on and pack on and pack on more and more, and then wonder why we're burnout at the end. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Because I'll tell you, in fact, I was thinking about it earlier today. So when I worked in shock trauma ICU, I actually had a contest with the nurse, another one of the nurses who worked there. How many shifts can we work in a row? It was a contest. We did 12 night shifts in a row. But that was the mentality, right? Just continue. I sacrificed everything for work because that was my comfort zone. Work was my comfort zone. I knew that I did my job very well, and I was very comfortable there, right? Anything outside of those hospital walls there was a lot of uncertainty for me. It was extremely uncomfortable for me to even go to a grocery store and to go shopping with other people around me. Yeah, 14-day shifts. The smallest tasks that the majority of the population would call just like mundane everyday tasks, for me were like peeling my skin off. But yet at the same time, I could go into the ER and I could run through, one trauma after another with, MVAs, driver versus pole, and see multiple um, pediatric clients come in abused and death and death and death and death. I was more comfortable in that than I was at the grocery store picking out my groceries. Does anybody else feel that way? It's the chaos. It's the chaos. We work so that we don't have to feel. And that sounds funny, right? Like you're thinking, okay, you go into shock trauma so you don't have to feel. But I knew that as soon as I stepped into those doors, it was a different me. I had my blinders on to anything emotional. I actually disconnected from Natalie and I stepped into a different person. That's called disassociation. I had no connection between my brain and my body. I knew that I put up all boundaries and I went into a different mode. Like I just completely shut everything off. And I knew that I had to do what I had to do in those moments. And so I was very robotic. But as soon as I stepped out of those doors, that's when it got scary. That's when it got real scary because I was left alone with me, where the burnout really starts. I didn't want to feel emotion. When you're never taught how to process your emotions, especially after the environments that we come from, the death, what we see, right? And that's just the trauma that we participate around, right? That's just the setting of the trauma that we're in now in our careers. I'm not even talking about the trauma as children. And again, if you haven't watched my first couple of videos, please go into the guides section and watch those. Super important. It talks about how the brain works and what trauma is, because trauma is not the event. It is not the event. Each and every one of us have had trauma. Trauma is a person, place, or thing coupled with a very deep emotion. And in that moment, we decide something about ourselves or the world. And that's the lens from which we view and operate the rest of our lives. So I'm not even talking about the trauma that's already in us, right? I'm not even talking about that war under the surface, but we are exposing ourselves to all of this other. And we step out of the walls of the hospital or wherever your comfort zone is, that we choose to spend all these hours in, because that's where we're comfortable. That's where we know we can be disassociated, not feel our feelings, be super busy, right? We have our task lists. Most of the time our shifts are short staffed, so we are doing many, many jobs at once. When you step outside, time slows down and you are alone with yourself. When I was walking through the aisles of that grocery store, it was me and everyone else who, in my mind, was nothing like me, because my partners in crime, my team, inside those hospital walls were all the same as I was. We didn't feel our feelings, right? We covered everything up with very dark humor. We had our coping strategies, but I didn't have any idea how to cope outside of those walls. And that is a trauma response. That is a trauma response. And so when we do get outside those walls, in order for us to even be able to cope with daily life, we have to fill up every single minute of our day so that we won't be left alone with what's really going on the inside. So that we won't be left alone with the thoughts and the feelings that are just trying to communicate with us and say, hey, we're hurting. We have pain in here. Please help. But we shove it down and shove it down and shove it down. And we are screaming for help on the inside. But in order to dull that, to numb that, right, we cope by filling everything that we can into our schedules. And so we take the chaos that is comfortable to us and we move it wherever we are. Where you go, there you are. Our baseline actually elevates for our levels of cortisol, and then we become addicted to it. So everyone has a baseline level of cortisol. And after so many times that your receptors are full, you're going to have to create more cells that hold those receptors for more cortisol. And so you increase your baseline level of cortisol and you're so addicted to it. And so you get out of your hospital setting, right? Understaffed, hustle, trauma, rapid infuser, rapid response, code blue. I mean, like my adrenaline's pumping just saying that, right? And you get out of there and you come to a world where there isn't chaos and it's quiet. So what do? Your skin starts to crawl. You're like, I can't stand this. Your body is addicted to that cortisol. So what do? You go and create it. You either fill up your schedule completely to the point where you're stressed and those cortisol levels can go, oh, okay, good. We're stressed. We're back up there. Oh, thank goodness. Or you create a ton of drama in your life, or you go self-sabotage in order to get back up to the baseline that you've created at that point. What happens if you continue like this? What happens if you continue to fill your schedule and you wear exhaustion as a badge of honor? Because guess what? I saved those nurses the other night. Like, they were real short-staffed, and guess who signed up? Every time. They know they can count on me. To what expense? To what expense? Who are you really helping? And are you the martyr? Are you the martyr for the hospital's problem of short staffing, or are you just trying to fill a need? Yes, Jana, you're exactly right. Your body crashes. Absolutely. When you hold stress in your body for that long, become like the hero. And we're really going to get into that next week, guys. Like, recovering people pleaser here, still working on it, but we're really going to dive into that next week. Lack of boundaries, exactly. But your body, when it holds that stress for so long, there's inflammation. That's when disease processes start. You're literally killing yourself on the inside. Every shift you pick up extra, everything that you overtop your schedule with, there's a better way. There is a better way, and it all starts on the inside of you. Because what are we doing when we do that? What was I doing when I was like, let's work 12 night shifts in a row? What need was I trying to fulfill? And everything that you shove down, everything that you create busyness to numb, it's not going away. It just compounds. And those voices, when you can't stand to be alone with yourself, when you can't stand to be on vacation or have 1 second to yourself, or even with your family, when you get home from work and your kid comes up to you and he just wants to give you a hug, and you just like blow. Have y'all ever been there? Because I have. And I'm like, what's wrong with me, right? Like, my kid just wants to give me a hug, but I can't handle it. Why? It's because you have all of this pain inside of you that is crying out for healing. That is crying out for healing. You have core needs that are not being met. We are the source of our burnout. We are, and the only way that we can ever stop these patterns is if we finally say, yes, I am ready for a change. No one's going to come save you except for you. No one's going to make the change except for you. Yes, I want to be there for my kids, but I have no idea how to get out of this pattern. God, that was me. So what did I do? I went to sleep, woke up, went to work. Went to sleep, woke up, went to work, over and over and over. And wondered, is this really all there is to life? Is this really it? There's a better way. There is a better way. When you can go in and you start loving yourself and trusting yourself, and that's what True Alignment Academy does, guys. But today, I really want you to take this information in a note, because I want you to gain some awareness around this. We can't change anything unless we have awareness around it first. In True Alignment Academy, we use a process, we use tools that go into the deepest part of you and help you learn how this works, right? Go into the deepest part of you and heal those parts of you who are continuing the chaos, who, once you find restoration in those parts of you and you maintain healing in the parts of you that need this chaos, it's like you desire the quiet. It's such a change, guys. It's like, the best way I could describe it is whenever you, like, it used to make my skin crawl to be present with myself in quiet. But when you can have full restoration, hi Shanna, welcome, of all the pieces of you who are really just crying out in pain, right? That's what that is. When you are sitting alone with yourself and you just can't stand it anymore. It's those parts of you that are hurting, that are crying out in pain. And when you have full restoration and you gain healing of all those parts, you can be present and in the moment and take control of your own mental wellness, because I'm telling you, what really works, what sticks, what is lifelong, is when you can do it to you and when you can maintain your own healing and your own mental wellness, and you don't have to depend on anyone else, and no external factor has any say over that. No external factor can penetrate your ability to maintain your own mental wellness, your own fulfillment, your own restoration. No staffing shortages, no bad manager, no traumatic scene, no lost child in your arms. Healing is what allows you to show up for you first so that you can show up for everyone else, including your kids, guys, including your kids. It's a huge piece. So much to say, so much to say. I'm going to have to continue this next week. I just have so much to say around this. But if nothing else, I want you to leave today really with awareness. Where in your life, why are you creating this busyness? Why are you creating this chaos? Like, just have awareness around it, right? Where are you wearing that badge of honor? What excuse are you giving yourself? And what's the real reason? Yes, we can finally be in our own peaceful presence. Thank you, Kathleen. That is exactly it. Exactly it. My skin no longer crawls. when I'm on vacation. It's the exact opposite. I am filled with peace from head to toe. If you are listening to this and you're like, I'm ready, I am 110% ready. I am done with the chaos. I am done with the war that is raging underneath the surface of me. I am done with screaming at my kids and everyone I love. Book a call with us. Thank you, Jana. She just dropped it in the chat, guys. If you're ready, book a call and let's chat. Let's talk. Because I'm telling you, you want true freedom. You want to cure your burnout for life and have the tools where you can maintain that no matter what your external circumstances are. I mean, truly to have full responsibility for your own mental wellness and the tools to maintain it, to create peace regardless of what your job situation looks like or where your you may think your source of burnout is. That is the solution, is healing. That is the solution. No more ants comfortable in my skin. That's it. Truly amazing. So True Alignment program is a healing program, Barbie. Go back to those guides and watch those first couple of guides and you'll get a better idea, and we'll reach out to you and give you more about what that process looks like. Yes, guys, I'm telling you, I have so much more to offer. I have so much more coming up next week on part 2 of burnout. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for you, because every single time you show up for yourself, and that gift trickles down to everyone around you. Y'all are amazing. Have a great week. I will see you next week, Mondays, here live at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks, guys.